to the Musicwed Game. This is Tim the Nerd, and seated next to me we have Professor Aubrey, and this week we're going to do something a little different. We are going to play the Musicwed Game, and you're like, what the hell is that? That's what our friends at home are saying right now, like, I've never heard of this before. What we wanted to do is do a little play off of the old game show, the Newlywed Game, you know, where they ask questions and you're supposed to write down what you think your partner would say, and if they say the correct answer, great, you get points. If not, then you don't get points, and there could be arguing at home later. Why didn't you know I like tacos? Something like that, you know what I mean?
With the added bonus of we chose songs for each other to listen to and determine whether we liked them or we didn't like them. Also, the goal was to pick music that we thought the other person would like. So it was also, in addition to being this cool game, it's also hopefully a method by which we can expand our musical horizons.
Exactly. It's all in fun here. And you know, just like you said, you know, the whole purpose here, even though it's a game, we're going to be compiling a score that we will, you know, have at the end. And, you know, maybe whoever wins it will, you know, have a little fun with the winning. But, you know, we will see how close we got to picking songs that, you know, as you said, the other person likes. See if we're good at that or not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, because when it comes to stuff like music, you know, even the best of tries, you know, sometimes you don't always get it. You know, there've been plenty of times where someone, you know, said to me, "Oh, you got to listen to this album. It's great," and I listen to it, and it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, swing and a miss, right? Like, musical tastes are just so personal, I think.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, millions of people like the Beatles. So there's something to that, like just being high quality.
Right. But all of our choices, though, I think, are high quality, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll start off my list with Nickelback. No, we're not going to do that here on this show. But I will start things off here with a song from a British electronic band. The band is called Lemon Jelly, and this is the only song I'm familiar with of their work. And I first heard it on the British TV show Spaced.
Oh.
It was the last song that played on the last season of that show. There were only 2 seasons. The whole premise of the show is a man and a woman, Tim Bisley and Daisy Steiner, end up meeting at a coffee shop, and both are in need of finding an apartment. And they find an ad that says, you know, hey, there's a cheap apartment for rent, but couples only. So they pretend to be a couple. And then, you know, throughout the whole series, it's basically them falling in love. And then the last scene is them just sitting on a couch kind of holding each other, and, you know, while this particular song is playing. Again, it's from Lemon Jelly. It's called the Staunton Lick. And basically they took this audio clip from like a guitar tutorial about, you know, how to you know, do like finger picking on the guitar. You know, put your finger in the key of C, strum the bass string with your thumb, and they did all that, but then they added some kind of up-tempo, happy music at the end, and just, for me, I thought it was a beautiful song, and just, it does take me back to that show, gives me great memories of that show. In fact, Ricky Gervais has a cameo on Space season 2, because you find out that the landlord of the apartment that Tim and Daisy had, she had no intention of only renting it out to a couple. She didn't care. But when she called the newspaper to put the ad out, the person taking her call was Ricky Gervais. And the episode was released in 2001, so the British office may have already been done.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was essentially playing that character because he was flirting with somebody while having the landlady on the phone, and just totally misrepresented everything she said in the ad here. But the reason I thought you would enjoy it was it did have that electronic, you know, flavor to it. So do I think it would be your all-time favorite? No, but I think it's something that you would put on and go, it's okay. So let's hear it. Did you like it or not?
So something about it just really turned me off from the first moments when he was like, okay, do this, 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 and that's a C chord. And you play the C chord and you're going to strum and you're going to hit the bass, no, bass string twice. And then you're going to hit the second string, just like I was like saying to myself, I know how to do a C chord. I do not need this tutorial. So I kind of had a weird relationship with the song, really.
It didn't pick up for you the moment the instructor voice stopped.
I was already pissed off about it. Do you know what I mean? Like it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay. Well, that's a big 0 for me. Well, here we go. But still, though, thank you for giving it a shot.
Yeah, I listened to it several times.
In
And
anger, apparently. I want to throw stuff. I hate it.
this is the only one that I actually really did not like.
All right. Well, then, how about you dive into your first choice that you picked for me?
Okay, so I have picked for you number one, Purple Hat by SOFI TUKKER. So SOFI TUKKER is a EDM style duo. They do play some instruments. She plays the guitar. He plays something. He also DJs. And they do some stuff in Brazilian. It's just really interesting music. And I just think this song is very upbeat and kind of funny. So I thought you might like it.
Well, you would be wrong. But what did it for me? I mean, it started off fine. It started off being something that I thought, I could maybe get into this. And then the guy started singing.
Mm.
I forgot specifically what he said, and it's, no point in, going back and finding out what the lyrics were because the lyrics were irrelevant and everything. But it just didn't work for me when he started singing because some ways it kind of reminded me of that U2 song that their guitar player, the Edge, sang.
Mm.
Like a raindrop and hit my head and blah, blah, blah. Just that stupid monotone song, I think it's called Numb or something like that. Yeah, it did not work for me now.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. Maybe it'll be like with me, and this is the one that you really, really don't like, and there's some better ones along the way. Maybe not.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I think what you liked and what I like about the song is the guitar riff.
Yeah, I mean, and to be clear, I mean, the song definitely has some good elements, but I think everybody can say this. The whole song has to be what captures you in, pulls you in. I mean, like if you're like an actual, musician that's getting paid money to be a musician, then I can see, doing deeper dives into music you may not necessarily like just to hear how somebody plays an instrument. Guitar players do that all the time. But, if you're just someone who just loves putting on a good song, it has to be the entire thing. Otherwise, it won't work.
Mm.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about I dive into my next one?
Yeah.
All right. This one here is a cover song, and it wasn't. I think one thing I'm liking about YouTube and YouTube music, being that we take advantage of it, is the fact that we can take audio that comes from videos and add them to music playlist. Because this song in question is not available on streaming services in any other way. It was for a charity album for Amnesty International. And it was a cover song sung by one Ozzy Osbourne, and it was his cover of the John Lennon song "How" from the Imagine album. And I thought that this would be up your alley because one, it was a Lennon song, but two, I think it does show the range of Ozzy Osbourne as well. Like him and Lennon had pretty similar nasally type of vocals. Ozzy's vocals were a little bit on the deeper side, so he had a deeper voice. But the same type of presentation, I guess. I just thought it would be something that you would enjoy. Now, again, did I think you would be like, this is the greatest song ever made? No, but I thought because of it being a Lennon song, sung by Ozzy, that you would appreciate it. So was I right?
Well, I got to tell you, here's one word I would use to describe this song.
Crap.
No, exquisite. Loved this one. Of course I did. I love John Lennon songs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sung by Ozzy, who has one of the most distinctive voices, I think, today. So you knew it was Ozzy right away. And I think in certain circumstances, so like most people actually like Ozzy Osbourne. He was a charismatic figure before he got all old and
With the Parkinson's and all that.
Parkinson's and yeah. So I think it would be widely appealing. Like I'm not the only one who'd be like, "Oh, I really like this song, and I really like that Ozzy's singing it."
Yes, yes, because I'm all for any artist out there, a musician or whatnot, going outside of their normal range, I guess, in terms of, like a metal singer singing a country song or a country singer singing a hip hop song or something like that. Doesn't mean it always works, and
Well, like Beyonce.
but yeah, when it does work, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I really appreciated his take. I mean, Ozzy is a avowed Beatles fan. I mean, he was of that generation of people that grew up on their music and inspired him to make music on his own. So, I am glad you liked it.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job. Good job.
Yes. How about you choose your next one?
All right. So, what I have chosen for you is "Prayer in C" by Robin Schulz, and it's called the Robin Schulz Radio Edit, and it's Lily Wood and the Prick and Robin Schulz. It makes it's very similar, and it's the same type of music as the first song, but to me, melodically, was completely opposite to the first song because it was moody and stormy kind of feeling. Whereas the first song was harder, harsher. So I thought that you would like this one because of that. Just now I thought that.
Yes, yes. We didn't have to go back and redo this again.
No.
Now, you're asking me my opinion?
Yes.
I know this is going to be a big shock to you, but I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I did enjoy it. It did, when you said it was a EDM track, it did kind of surprise me, because it did, and I'm not knocking EDM when I say this, but with the EDM, you don't necessarily think of people grabbing instruments and playing. You think of them, like collecting samples and building collages on their computer, and then, playing it that way or other stuff. I mean, there is an art form to that. It's just different than, people picking up guitars and playing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think what happens in most EDM is that there are people playing music. There's music composition happening, and it's being played on various types of instruments, but then it's in a loop.
Yeah.
Right? They record and record and record, loop over loop over loop, and you end up with this collage, exactly like
Yes. But yeah, with the choices that you made on your list, I would say this is probably my favorite of the ones that you chose for me here. Now, am I going to say that this is going to be something that'll end up on a playlist for me sometime soon? Probably not, but that does not mean I, didn't enjoy it.
I'm so glad to hear it. I really was nervous that you wouldn't like any of my songs choices.
Well, we got one.
We got one.
We got one. All right. So how about I dive into my next choice?
Sounds great.
All right, this is and I love this too because this is one of two women I have on my list. Since you give me crap for thinking that there's only seven women throughout the entirety of music history that have put music on record, I've now found eight and nine.
Uh-huh.
Yes, by one.
One of them is Casey Musgraves, of course.
Well, that would make it 10.
Okay.
But she's so good. But this song right here is from Billie Eilish. Now, normally, for some of the stuff I've heard from her, doesn't really work for me. But this song here, called "Bad Guy," just really, as the kids say today, it slaps. Just nice little electronic beat, like, and just nice little riff throughout, nice like keyboard work and everything. I love her vocal delivery, and I also love the little bit at the end too, to where all of a sudden it turns really fucking dark, and because you get the impression that, at the end at least, she's talking about being like the bad guy in terms of making another person pissed off that she's wearing the cologne of a guy that she's currently dating that someone else isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I could see this being a song that, if you were at a club, you would have a lot of fun dancing to. So I thought this would be something that you would enjoy. So what is it?
I'm middling about this one, primarily because, well, I think the context in which I would listen to this song is absolutely dancing, but more like pole dancing or burlesque or some kind of sexy dancing, because the breathy delivery, I think, is so sexy. The beat is sexy, the music's sexy. So, but that's not what I like to. I don't listen to music like that. And I'm thinking of dancing like choreographed dancing, not going out dancing.
Picking your booty.
Yeah. So in that choreographed world, I think this would be a great piece of music.
But that doesn't tell me whether you liked it or not. Did you like it?
Well, there were things about it I liked and things about it I didn't like. So I would say I was sort of, in the middle on this one.
But you have to have a definitive answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with no then. That's a no from me because I didn't like the breathy delivery. Like, the only context that I could think of it being a good song to listen to is if there's some sensual element, some erotic element.
Okay. That's hot.
Well, maybe I should say, no wonder you liked it.
I mean, I didn't necessarily think of it in that context either. I mean, but for me, I just thought it was fun. Like, this is something I could see, like, going back to my old catchphrase, I could see this in an action movie. It's like fun. You could see like a fight happening with this.
Whoa.
Like it's kind of like the club scenes from the John Wick movies where he's like shooting everybody and using karate and all that stuff. Like, I could see this song being played in that type of a scene with a film a little more upbeat than the John Wick films. Those can be a little intense, but Anyway, since you did not like it, making me sad there, not liking Billie Eilish, how about you go on to your next choice for me?
All right, my next choice for you is Inner Light. This is by Bob Moses and Elderbrook collaboration. So Bob Moses is a really great songwriter and singer, I think, and it's very mellow, but the music is rich and complex. This one also has a positive message, so I thought you might like that, because often you listen to music to alleviate your mood, I think, sometimes.
At times, yeah. I mean, I think it is a proven fact that, music can affect your moods either up or down. And if you listen to like downbeat, dire, sad songs all the time, you're going to find yourself in that type of mood.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was like a freshman in high school, maybe. No, I was a in middle school. My sister was a freshman in high school. And so you had to do a science fair project. And she decided to do for her science fair project a or a experiment. She had two gerbils, and one of the gerbils listened to classical music, and one of the gerbils listened to rock and roll music, like hardcore rock and roll music. And the test was like, what was their behavior like? And the one that was listening to classical music was like total normal gerbil. The other one was like freaking the fuck out. So I do really believe this. I've seen it. It's science that it does affect you.
Yes.
So I think of you as someone who likes to listen to positive music because I think you see that connection. And so this, I think, is a really positive song. It's about, holding on to your own value and specialness and maybe sharing that, sort of a let your light shine kind of song.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
I thought it was a little dull. I did not care for it.
Okay.
It didn't have the reaction that the SOFI TUKKER one did. Again, with the SOFI TUKKER, it's just the guy's vocals. Like, if you could replace that with more palatable vocals, maybe I would have liked the first one too. But this one was just droned.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about it. And yeah, if you like the band, I do apologize for it. I'm not,
Oh, you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, but it didn't really work for me, unfortunately.
That's interesting. You're right. It is droning and it is repetitive. So they repeat the chorus like
Yeah.
this kind of the whole song is nothing but the chorus. And that's very common for electronic music. Because it's all about the loops,
Loopity loop loop loop.
Loopity loop.
Well, speaking of the opposite of loops, how about I go on to my next choice here?
Yep.
All right. This is a song I first became aware of thanks to a documentary that's available on Showtime. This is the second person who has been lead singer for the group Black Sabbath that we're going to talk about here. This is a piano track from Dio called This Is Your Life from an album of his in 1996. And I thought it was a great example of just how talented he was. Sometimes when you see, similar to what I said about Ozzy Osbourne, sometimes when you see a musician perform only one type of music, when they do something else altogether, sometimes the results are bad, but sometimes you get results that are like this. And it does have kind of a Broadway-ish type of feel to it. You could picture like Celine Dion maybe putting a very lackluster version of this song on record at some point. But I wanted to, and this is one that I don't know how you're going to judge. Like, we did not consult each other about what we thought of the other songs before we started recording here, but this is just one I wanted to put on your radar just to kind of show you a different side of Dio. So what say you?
Because I like Dio, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have respect for Dio, and I like listening to Dio singing. So I thought I would really like this one. I was excited to hear it. And it's not very Dio-y. Like, you are totally correct that this is a departure and very different from his other works. And for that reason, I didn't like it. And I think it's because Dio is a greatest hits for me. Maybe at that level, but maybe even not at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just like, oh, I like it if I hear it kind of thing.
You're not going to search it out.
Yeah. Like, I never think to listen to Dio. But, like, if I listen to something, like one of your playlists and it comes up, I'm like, oh, yeah, Dio. I like Dio. But I can see why you would think that I would like it. Because it is Dio, but it is a little bit of a less dramatic song, maybe?
Well, I think it is dramatic, but again, we're talking just piano and strings accompany him in this song here, which is much different than what you expect. You expect the screaming guitars, you expect the synthesizer keyboards and stuff like that, similar to some of his more well-known work. And
yes, that's what I was expecting.
yeah,
exactly.
You were like, I'm gonna rock. Wait a minute.
Yeah, totally.
Well, okay then. Like I said, this is one that I was like, she may like it, she may not, but you gave it the old college try.
Yep.
How about you go on to your next choice?
Well, I have to tell you something first.
Well, tell me something.
I'm having deja vu right now. Are you?
No, what?
I'm just having deja vu of like sitting on the couch, looking at each other, sort of turned towards each other, doing the podcast. I guess we do this quite often.
Yes.
But I still was like, this has happened before.
We've done it before. Yeah, the show's so memorable, you're just remembering it now.
I just remember that we've been doing this for years and years.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Anyway, my next choice, which I was really hoping you would like, it doesn't sound like maybe you did, but is Beautiful World by Colin Hay. Colin Hay is the lead singer from Men at Work. In his later years, has done sort of acoustic singer-songwritery kinds of things, including this song. And I thought you would like it again because it's very positive. It's got like a sunny side kind of disposition to it. And also it's a beautiful melody, and I think he's got a great voice, and the guitar playing is good. So I thought you would like it.
You thought wrong.
Oh God.
Put it this way: if it was just the music itself, him on the guitar, then I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and it would have been an affirmative for me at that point. I think the lyrics, though, it comes off like the stereotypical shirtless guy in a college campus with an acoustic guitar.
Really?
Just like what was like Beautiful World. We're gonna go to the lyrics here. My, it's a beautiful world. I like swimming in the sea. First two lyrics, just like, what the hell? I like to go up beyond the white breakers where a man can still be free.
So the whole song, he's describing things that he likes.
Yeah.
That's what the whole song is. So you're opposed to people liking swimming in the sea?
Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. No, it just felt like he was just coming up with the lyrics on the fly, and didn't take time to I'm going to write a song called "Beautiful World" by Colin Hay. Word one, verse one, and yeah, vocals again. It was the vocals again. And it's not like his delivery was bad or anything. I'm not saying he's a bad singer, but, the lyrics, what the singer, it has to sing to you. If the lyrics don't connect, then they don't connect. It didn't connect.
Interesting. I really connect with those lyrics.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's about being in the moment, immediacy.
Being outside and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Drink a tea.
Yeah. With the pinky out. That's right. All right, shall I go on to my last choice here?
Last choice.
All right. I've talked about this song on the show before here, and I first discovered it right after a split from the ex-wife, and I'm really glad I gave it a shot because it is, speaking of positive songs, I think it is very much in that positive vein of, trying to make you feel good. And not just feel good in terms of enjoying a song, but also feel good outside of that as well. From Taylor Swift. It's from her album 1989, but I chose the Taylor's version song choice. So if you go into our show description, you can check out the playlist that we put together here. And the reason I chose the Taylor's version cover, I don't know if you're familiar, but there was this scumbag that ended up buying like all the publishing rights to her early work.
Oh.
And there's like a loophole, I guess, that if she re-recorded it, then, she would own,
the new recording.
So, in solidarity,
nice.
I supported her by choosing that particular one, but it's Shake It Off. It's to your point, upbeat, positive, and just overall, I really dig the message. I think it's easily one of the best pop songs I think I've ever heard. Carole King has called Taylor Swift her, musical grandchild.
Hmm.
And after hearing this song, I can understand why. What say you?
So I definitely have heard this song before on the radio. Like it's one of the most popular Taylor Swift songs, I think.
Right.
I've never sought it out to listen to, and I probably have never listened to the whole thing before. So I really loved it. Even though it was Taylor Swift, even though I have heard it before. It's a fun song to listen to. It would be a fun song to dance to.
I agree. I agree. And the funny thing is, this is the only song of hers that I really enjoy. I mean, the other songs that I've heard have, just been in passing, and, have not like put on an album and just listened to it, or anything like that. But just easily, for my money, one of the best pop songs I think ever made. Not the best pop song ever made, one of. And, it was nice hearing Carole King, say the kind words that she did about her.
Hmm.
But I'm glad you liked it.
I did like it. I didn't like it as much as you do.
Well, that's fine.
I wouldn't say that it's the best pop song ever.
You'd be wrong. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, doesn't Rolling Stone do like lists of that sort of thing?
Everybody does at some point. I mean, when it comes to those lists, when it comes to people like me spouting their opinions, it's just that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just wondered if anybody else shared your view.
I don't know, but maybe I'll be a flag bearer for this cause.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. With the Taylor group,
Well, and what's funny is that like we've never talked about Taylor Swift before.
I've mentioned the song on the show, not like repeatedly like other songs, but I brought it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
These are things I didn't know about you.
yeah. I'm a Swiftie. Anyway, how about your last choice?
Okay, my last choice was a Hail Mary. It is Venus and Furs by the Velvet Underground. And the reason I chose it is because I thought you might get some ironic pleasure out of it because of the instrumentation is kind of funny with the boingy sounds that it has in it. And then the lyrics are hilarious. Yeah, so I thought maybe you just like it ironically.
You're asking me now whether I
Yes.
liked it or not?
Did you like it or not?
No.
No.
No. I mean, there are people that enjoy the Velvet Underground. Obviously, you are one of them. I've found for the most part, though, that the people that I've seen, other people, of course, that have proclaimed to like that band are kind of like the people that have like huge libraries of books at home of books they've never read.
Oh.
But, want to seem like, oh, yes, I read Tessa de D'Urbervilles from Thomas Hardy plenty of times.
I've read that.
But you get my
It's
point.
great.
Yeah, but you get my point, though. There are people that, will say they're a fan of
That's
something. There are people that will tell me to fuck off. No.
No, go ahead.
No, there are people that will, proclaim to like something just for the status of it, I guess. Like Lou Reed never did it for me. I think he's one of the worst lyricists in rock history. I think, but people will say, one, you mentioned on the show before, Tim, that you like the Velvet Underground song Heroin. Yes, I do. That is a fine song. I like that song.
Same album.
Same album. But I think, if anything, Lou Reed became famous by selling a persona, not necessarily like the lyrics. He became this presence that you wanted, if you were a fan of his, that you wanted to be a part of, whether it be by purchasing his music, going to his shows, or something like that. And that type of thing, you either have to be all in or you're just not going to get it. And I just don't get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I get what you're saying about the people claim to like it because it's sort of pretentious.
The trendy type of deal. Like they will buy a used copy of this because it's a Warhol painting and put it on their wall. But if you question them, about any of the songs on there, they'll be like, huh?
Right. Exactly. It's sort of like if you wear a t-shirt of a band, you should like that band. Like you're advertising that band. So if you don't actually like the band or even know what their music is like, how can you wear their t-shirt? Which actually I did as an adolescent person because you are trying to find that, where do I fit in? How do I form my pack of humans? And music can be cultural, right? It means something to like the Velvet Underground.
Mm-hmm.
It means you're a certain kind of person if you like the Velvet Underground. Uh, Whether you're pretending to like them or you're actually liking them.
Right.
And so it's a way, I think, of people trying to find each other.
Yes. In the midst of whatever, you find your people, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what it's all about, I think.
Well, I think it's time to reveal the results.
Okay, what's the score?
The score, Aubrey has 1 point. Professor Aubrey with 1 point. Tim the Nerd has 2 points. So the winner,
Tim the
USA.
Nerd. And the one that you liked was the least likely, I thought, for you to like.
Is what it is. I can't explain it, but I was surprised that you did not like the Lemon Jelly song, the Staunton
Mhm.
Lick. I was even more surprised that you disliked it as much as you did. But overall, I think we had fun today.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when we play games.
Yes, we should definitely try this again sometime.
Yeah,
All
we could
right,
do it with movies.
there you go.
That's a little bit more of an investment.
It, well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to watch the movies in question if you haven't done that.
Right.
So that could be for a couple months from now or something like that. Music would be a tad easier, but anything you want to
You're
say?
showing the people how the sausage is made here. Like, this is how we do it. This is how we come up with ideas. Like, you're watching it happen right now.
Damn right. You can do this at home too.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, we'll have the Musicwed Game box set,
Yeah.
board game or something.
This is the second game I've invented. The first game I invented is called High-Low, and it's where you take your deck of cards, you put the entire deck face down, then you start flipping, and you guess whether the next card is going to be high or low.
Ah,
And then if you think it's going to be the same, you yell "same" and slap your hand on the card. And then you get to keep those cards, and whoever has the most cards at the end wins.
I invented a card game when I was a kid. It was. Have you ever played that game War?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what I did is made it into like a competition, like slash sporting event to where I would play this game by myself, but I made like 10, quote unquote teams, called it the World War League. And the game was 4 quarters, 3 minutes per quarter. You would play the game of war. And then at the end of the 3 minutes, unless one side got all of the cards, at the end of the 3 minutes, you would count, side A got this amount of cards, side B got this, and then add up the score at the end of the 4 quarters, and then you would have a winner.
But you're doing all of this.
Yes, I had, complete team histories. I had to, do all.
This is so funny because I think you've told me this before, but what's so funny is that it sounds like the WWE video game.
Kind of like that, or like the Madden game, for instance, in terms of, because at the end you would have, you would have the teams, the top rated teams face off, and, somebody has to win the championship and all.
Did you give them like names and stuff?
Yeah, I forgot, some of the names, but, the world championship was played at Tampax Stadium.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Why? Why are you so provocative?
It was middle school.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Why, did you share this with people?
No,
No, nobody.
no, yeah.
Not a soul.
No, I knew this would be something I'd be mocked over.
But you did it anyway.
At home, yeah.
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 I mean, it's better than watch TV.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, because at home, I would only have like a couple of hours of, when I had control of the TV. And then when Ma got home, it was bad sitcoms at that point. So it was just a way to spend time, in my room alone by myself. That's why I love video games, because I don't have to create, schedules, because scheduling is harder than it looks. Scheduling, sports scheduling in terms of, like the
The
NFL.
tournament.
Not only the tournament, but like the regular season. You want to make sure everybody plays against each other and all that stuff.
Oh my God, you did a whole regular season?
Regular season and the championship, yeah. I did about 10 seasons in total before I ended up getting bored and going off doing something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long?
Took up my time for about a good year, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah. World War League.
World War League. I love it.
All right.
Party of one.
Yes. A me party.
Yes.
If ever there was one. But
yes.
Do you have anything else you want to say to our friends at home?
Check out the playlist. I bet if we thought each other would like these songs, we think that you will like them as well. So check it out, and otherwise enjoy the music that you like.
Exactly. I agree with that. Music is life, people. It can get you through a lot in these wacky and wild times we live in.
That's right.
But thank you for listening to the Musicwed Game. Each Monday we'll have something in this podcast space to entertain your ear holes. Until we meet again, we bid you adieu.
So long.
I'm a bad guy. Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy
on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Goodbye, darling.